slope of a line. So first off, we need to talk about slope. Slope, we use the letter M to represent slope. What slope is rise over run. So when you talk about a line, it's how much the line rises over how much it runs. So it's a ratio. And then if you've got two ordered pairs, the ordered pairs being x1, y1, and x2, y2, you can use this formula right here, y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So now we're going to find the slope of this line. First we have to find 2 points that this line goes through. So it goes through this point, and it goes through this point. Now using our rise over run, we're going to go up this far. So we went up 1, 2, 3, 4. So our rise was 4 over our run was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Notice we went up 4 and in the positive direction 6. So our 4 and 6 are both positive. But then we want to reduce. We can divide them both by 2 and get 2/3. So the slope of that line is 2/3. So now we're going to use the formula to figure out the slope between these 2 points. So remember, it was y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1 was our formula. So using our points, our second y-coordinate is -5 minus our first coordinate is +5. Second x-coordinate is 4 minus our first x-coordinate, which is -2. And then we just simplify this. So -5 minus 5 is the same as plus a -5, which will give us -10. 4 minus -2, we can add our opposite, so -10 over 6, and reduce both of them by 2, -5/3. So when we talk about a horizontal line would be like this. This would be an example of a horizontal line. So notice on this line, our rise is 0. And that's because we're not going up or down any. So when we do rise over run, it's going to be 0 over some number. 0 divided by anything is 0. So the slope of any horizontal line is 0. Now on the same token, if we've got a vertical line, for example, this would be a vertical line. We're going to have rise over run again. But notice this time, we are going up and down, so we'll have a number up here, but we're not going left and right, so our denominator would be 0. We can't divide by 0, so this slope is undefined. So anytime we've got the slope of a horizontal line, it's going to be 0, and the slope of any vertical line is undefined. Also to keep in mind, if you look from left to right and it's got a positive slope, it's going up. If it's going down, you'll have a negative slope. Parallel lines have the same slope. Perpendicular lines, negative reciprocal. Reciprocal meaning we want to flip the fraction. So now we're going to be given these 2 slopes. Find what the slope would be of a line that's parallel to it and that's perpendicular to it. So for this first one, if we wanted the slope of the line that's parallel, well, it's the same slope, so it would be 2/3. If we wanted the slope that's perpendicular, our slope would be negative of it, so we'll have a negative. Reciprocal meaning we flip the fraction, so 3 to the second one. If we wanted the slope of the line that's parallel, remember that slope is the same, so it'll still be negative 5. But if we want the slope that's perpendicular, go with that negative reciprocal. So first off, if we wrote this negative 5 as a fraction, it'd be negative 5 over 1. And the negative of a negative would be positive. And then when we flip this fraction, it'd be 1/5. Once again, it's positive because you would have a negative of a negative. And this would be the positive, and then we would flip it. So now we have to figure out whether the slope that's between these points is parallel, perpendicular, or neither to a slope of negative 2. So first off, we'll find the slope between these two lines. Once again, y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1 is our slope. So using these actual points, we'll have 5 minus 4 over 8 minus 6. 5 minus 4 is 1. 8 minus 6 is 2. We get a half. And then notice if this half and negative 2 are opposite reciprocals, which means they are perpendicular. So now we're going to find the slope of this road that the truck has to drive up. Remember, slope was rise over run. But we also need them to be in the same unit. So instead of using 1 mile, we know that 1 mile is the same as 5,280 feet. So now our slope is our rise, which is 32 feet, over our 5,280 feet. So we now have to reduce this. We can divide them both by 2, which I always find it easy to start with the simple numbers. So we notice they're both even, we can divide by 2. 32 divided by 2 is 16. 5,280 divided by 2 is 2640. Reduced now by 4. Here we divided by 2. Here we divided by 4. And now we're going to divide by 4 again. And there's our slope. So now we've got an actual application problem. Some things to point out. Re-enrollment during the first year was 8. So that can give us an ordered pair of 1 year and 8 students. And then we also know enrollment during the 5th year was 20. So our second ordered pair could be year 5. We had 20. We want to know the rate of growth per year, or this would be the slope of the line. So once again, we're going to use our slope formula. So 20 minus 8 over 5 minus 1, which means we had 3, and this was students per year. So 3 students per year. So our enrollment grows at about 3 students per year. And that is section 2.